we welcome you all to the inaugural ceremony of the National Resource Center for Non-Communicable Diseases. I request you all to remain in the hall until the entire ceremony is over. This is as per the governor's official protocol. We also request you to strictly adhere to the COVID protocol. As a courtesy, kindly switch off your mobile phones. The entire function is live streamed. I will just give a briefing of the function. The governor and the distinguished guests will arrive at the National Resource Center located at the old gym area in the medical college to unveil the plaque. Thereafter, the governor and the guests will make a visit to the recreation center on the 4th floor. Then he will be arriving at the central courtyard for the inaugural address. Thank you. All rise up to honor our distinguished guest and remain standing until the national anthem is over. I kindly request everyone present here to stand up. All rise up to honor our distinguished guest and remain standing until the national anthem is over.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंग विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उज्ज्वल जलधि तरंग तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Kindly remain seated. Welcome to the inaugural ceremony of the National Resource Center for Non-Communicable Diseases. We begin the program with a prayer song by Dr. Ria Teresa Sibi.
ലോകം മുഴുവൻ സുഖം പകരാനായി സ്നേഹദീപമേ മിഴി തുറക്കൂ ലോകം മുഴുവൻ
now, we welcome Reverend Father Siju Pandampalil, Manager of Believers Church Medical College Hospital and Kerala University of Health Sciences Senate member for the welcome address.
Father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhi said, "It is health that is real wealth and not pieces of gold and silver." Healthy citizens are the greatest asset any country can have, said Winston Churchill. We as Believers Church Medical College Hospital began our journey 7 years back in contributing towards making healthy citizen. We became the first private medical college in the state to have obtained permission to admit medical students in the very first year of establishment of a hospital. Third year of our journey, we were fully accredited by NABH, the National Accreditation Board for Hospital. Fifth year, NABL, and seventh year, the Nursing Excellence Award by the same board. I must say, I stand here with pride that this family together responded to the need along with the government during flood and COVID. We are the only private institution in the country to have procured all the possible testing machines for COVID, namely TrueNat, GeneXpert, Open RT-PCR, Abort, ID, Antigen. Thus became the first center in the district to start testing for COVID when the pandemic struck us. Today is yet another big step we are taking in response to fight against non-communicable diseases in association with ADIC India. As an institution, we feel blessed to take such huge initiatives with all your supports. And I stand here with joy to welcome the distinguished dignitaries for today's function. As a vibrant young man, as young as just 26 years old, he became the member of Legislative Assembly of Uttar Pradesh. At the age of 29, he became the member of parliament. At the age of 33, a central minister, a person with remarkable achievements, a well-known writer from his student days. His book, Text and Context, Quran and Contemporary Challenges, was the best-selling book of the year 2010. Known for his strong opinions on national issues and an excellent orator, above all, a person with compassionate heart and a great, great human being. The chief guest for today's function, inaugurating the National Resource Center for Communicable Diseases, the father of our state, Honorable Governor Sri Arif Muhammad Khan. On behalf of the entire family, I humbly and with much joy welcome the Honorable Governor to this function. It is out of the vision of one individual that the entire institution was born. His heart for helping the underprivileged always motivated the members of this family. Authored more than 250 books, a leader par excellence, the spiritual father for all of us. Blessing this occasion, presiding over the function, the Metropolitan of the Believers Eastern Church, more and more Athanasius Johann First, the Metropolitan. On behalf of all of us, I take this opportunity to welcome beloved Tirumeni to this function. A great friend of our Metropolitan and the Church. His guidance and advices to us are beyond appreciation. A charismatic church head and a person with compassionate heart. His presence this morning brings us heavenly blessings on this occasion. I welcome the Metropolitan Trustee of Malangara Jacobite Syrian Orthodox Church, His Grace Joseph Mar Gregorius Metropolitan, to this function. Our own MLA, our neighbor and a well-wisher, a person with impeccable character and a political life. I welcome former Minister for Transport and Water Resources, Advocate Sri Matthew Thomas MLA, to this function. a medical doctor, writer, actor, dancer, singer, and above all, an excellent administrator, heading our district, giving us timely guidance, the district collector of Pathanamthitta, Dr. Divya S. Iyer. May I humbly welcome our own district collector to this function. The director of National Resource Center for Non-Communicable Diseases, the director of Believers Medical College Hospital, former director of CMC Vellore, and the holder of most prestigious BC Roy Award, our own Dr. George Chandy Matitra. Welcome, dear sir, to this function. A man who worked tirelessly to make this National Resource Center into a reality. With his existing physical illness, underwent 4 chemo sessions at our hospital, yet always energetic. The Executive Director of Non-Communicable Diseases National Resource Center, Director for ADIC India, Mr. Johnson J. Idiyaranmula. I welcome sir to this function. Dr. John C. George, the Medical Superintendent of our hospital, also the Associate Director for National Resource Center. I welcome Dr. John C. to this function. I also want to acknowledge and welcome few other distinguished guests, though they are not on the dais, but they are very, very significant, important people. The President of World Federation of Non-Communicable Diseases and former cluster head of WHO, Professor Dr. J.S. Thakur. Welcome, dear sir, to this function. Professor at WHO Collaborating Center for Substance Abuse, All India Institute of Medical Sciences, Professor Dr. Atul Ambekar. Welcome, dear sir, to this function. State Nodal Officer for NCDs, Government of Kerala, Dr. Bibin K. Gopal. Welcome, sir, to this function. Former Additional Director for Health Services, Dr. A.S. Pradeep Kumar. Welcome, dear sir, to this function. I acknowledge the presence of all our dear beloved teachers, professors, medical students, officials from the Raj Bhavan, the ADCs, the OSD, everyone. I welcome each one of you to this function. May God bless all of us. Thank you.
May I now invite our beloved Director, CEO, Professor Dr. George Chandy Matitra, to introduce to you all about the National Resource Center.
Respected Governor, our beloved Metropolitan, His Grace Joseph Moore Gregorius Metropolitan, our own MLA, our collector, distinguished guests from PGI Chandigarh and from All India Institute, Delhi, distinguished guests from the Government of Kerala, ladies and gentlemen. Mitch Leigh and Joe Darwin wrote a beautiful poem called The Dream to Dream, the Impossible Dream, and the Quest for an Impossible Star. Our former President APJ Abdul Kalam taught us that dreams are not what we see in our sleep. Dreams are what keeps us awake. Over the past 7 years, respected Governor, we have lived a dream. All my colleagues, all of us together with Achan and Metropolitan, we have worked hard towards this dream, and today we can honestly say that we have provided affordable excellence. We have high quality work going on, empowered by a brilliant team of erudite scholars and a powerhouse of committed researchers. So we felt that we had reached a stage when we should be giving more to the society, more to the country. And we were wondering what to do. That is when this gentleman, Mr. Johnson and Idiyaranmula, came to us with an idea that we should be looking into the area of non-communicable diseases. When we look globally, we know that 41 million people die every day, every year of non-communicable diseases, out of which 14 million, that is 34% of them, are in the age group of 30 to 70. These are all preventable and even treatable. WHO has said that by 2030, we will now have 55 million people dying every year all around the world. In India, 5.8 million people die of heart disease, of lung disease, of cancer, and diabetes. 1 in 4 Indians die before the age of 70, most of them preventable illnesses. Between 1996 and 2016, in those 26 years, the disease burden and the deaths due to non-communicable diseases literally doubled, which taught us that there is a rapid epidemiological transition and a shift in the disease burden and how we look at things. So therefore, the WHO prepared a global action plan for prevention and control, which started in 2013, and India was one of the first countries to take it up. And we marched forward looking at national targets and indicators. The aim, to reduce the deaths from non-communicable diseases by 25% by 2025. It was in this background that we conceived this idea of a national resource center. That's how the whole idea germinated, supported by the Believers Church Medical College Hospital and Mr. Johnson Adeyaramula's ADIC India. The center aims to create a clearinghouse of data and information on all voluntary targets and indicators set by the Union High-Level Meeting of the General Assembly, supported by the WHO World Health Assembly. These indicators were clearly laid out. So our overall objective is to play a decisive role towards the realization of the global target by 2025 and the Sustainable Development Goals target by 2030. For this, we will be teaming up with government, stakeholders, medical fraternity, researchers, students, and the public, creating a counterculture, creating a national movement. This is our hope and our prayer. The National Resource Center will meet all international standards, and already we have the latest state-of-the-art facilities. We want to start by focusing on 4 major areas initially: alcohol abuse, smoking, unhealthy diet, and making sure that this lack of physical activity is changed, that people would become more conscious of physical activity. This we will do through scientific assessment, by implementing evidence-based interventions, by empowering communities, and by promoting best practices. We want to thank Mr. Johnson Adeyaramula for the idea and for the passion with which he came, our beloved Metropolitan for providing us the opportunity to be able to do all this, our beloved manager Achan, Jomsi, and their whole team who worked very hard over the last few weeks and months to make this possible. As I conclude, we have a message from Dr. Rodrigo H. Offrin, the WHO representative in India, who said, "A prepared India is a prepared world." So listen to Dr. Rodrigo Offrin talking to us.
Honorable dignitaries, guests, ladies and gentlemen, namaskar. It is a pleasure to join you virtually today to mark this momentous occasion of the inauguration of the National Resource Center for Non-Communicable Diseases. NCDs are the leading cause of deaths in the world, including in India. Close to 6 million lives are lost due to NCDs in India every year. These include 2.8 million premature deaths in the most productive age group of 30 to 69 years. NCDs are also a major hurdle to socioeconomic development and lead to regional disparities and inequities across the country. The Sustainable Development Goals pledge to deliver the time-bound promise to reduce premature deaths from NCDs. This goal cannot be attained without the participation of various levels of government, civil society, the private sector, communities, and other stakeholders. The National Health Policy of 2017 recognizes the need to halt and reverse the growing incidence of chronic diseases. It outlines strategies for an integrated approach to address NCDs and mental health. We need multi-pronged strategies to address the challenge of NCDs. These include fiscal, legislative, and regulatory measures along with integrated NCD service delivery. Recent legislative measures adopted in India include the comprehensive legislation to prohibit the production, distribution, and sale of e-cigarettes, regulation on restricting trans fats in cooking oils and allied products to reduce the limit from 5% to 2% by weight. These measures create an enabling environment to protect people from NCD risk factors. The government of India has also undertaken commendable initiatives on NCD prevention. And these include the Fit India mission to promote physical activity, the Eat Right movement to raise awareness about healthy diets and urge people to adopt healthy lifestyles. The Ayushman Bharat Health and Wellness Centers are providing comprehensive primary health care closer to the community, while Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana is providing financial protection, a step towards achieving universal health coverage for NCDs. The WHO Country Office for India is working closely with the government at various levels to provide technical guidance, to build capacity for prevention and control of NCDs, to build collaboration with other sectors such as Panchayati Raj for localizing SDGs. There is a need for greater investment in NCD research to translate knowledge into practice. I am sure you will agree that the best knowledge comes from people on the ground. As Mahatma Gandhi said, the soul of India lives in its villages. We applaud the efforts by the government of Kerala for adopting innovative measures to scale up this NCD response. For this, Kerala has also received the prestigious United Nations Interagency Task Force Award for 2020. We appreciate the initiative taken by the Believers Church Medical College Hospital and the Alcohol and Drug Information Center to form this National Resource Center for NCDs to serve as a training and research center. I do hope that the work done here effectively synergizes the knowledge of experts with the need and the voices of people on the ground. WHO, as always, is committed to support the efforts of the national and state governments to turn the rising tide of NCDs. I will end by wishing a great success to the National Resource Center for Non-Communicable Diseases. I look forward to it becoming a model for such centers across the country and the world. My best wishes to everyone engaged in this excellent endeavor. Thank you.
Now it's time for felicitations. May I invite Dr. Divya S. Iyer, our District Collector, to share a few words.
Honorable Governor, Shri Arif Muhammad Khan, Most Reverend Metropolitans, respected MLA, the leaders of Believers Church Medical College and Hospital on and off the dais, and to the entire Believers Church Medical College family in front of me, a very warm good morning. It is an absolute delight and honor for me to be basking in the presence of such stalwarts and blessed people on the dais here. To come back to a medical college is always a feeling of homecoming for me, and that comes as no surprise because the institution, which I proudly call my alma mater, Christian Medical College, Vellore, has contributed significantly to the field of medicine and the treasure trove of knowledge in public health, including communicable and non-communicable diseases, is no mean feat. To have one of them from CMC Vellore to lead this medical college from the front is also no mere coincidence in my eyes. And I'm certain that the latest venture of Believers Church Medical College is definitely going to be a priceless adventure in the field of medicine and is going to contribute in leaps and bounds towards the healthcare sector in our country. We, the people of Pathanamthitta and the district administration of Pathanamthitta wholeheartedly extend our support to this noble venture in our pitch to elevate the health and wellness of the people of our own district, our state, our country, and beyond. Of all the lessons that I have learned from CMC Vellore, I think the most important one is the fact that you do not view patients as case numbers or bed numbers or as case studies or as illnesses. In fact, I don't remember a single class in which we have been assigned bed number 52 for our case study. We've always been given the patient's name and address, and we've been taught to look at them holistically, not just as individuals, but actually as families. For illness is never endured in isolation by any human being. And that, I think, lies at the very core of cracking the black box of non-communicable diseases as well. Because none of these illnesses, which we term under the umbrella of non-communicable diseases, actually thrive in isolation. To sum it up beautifully, we wouldn't have to invent new words. The Charaka Samhita, very beautifully, in its introduction to Ayurveda, actually puts forth one phrase which defines Ayur as Sharirendriya Sattvatma Samyogo. Sharirendriya Sattvatma Samyogo. That's how it defines life as. As you can guess, Shariram means the body, Sattva is the mind, Atma is the soul, Samyogo is the union. Now I missed out one word in between, which was Indriya. It says Sharirendriya. Now we generally talk about the body, mind and soul when we talk about health and wellness, right? But Charaka Samhita talks about the Indriyas or the sense organs as well, which actually lies at the crossroads between all these three, the body, mind and the soul. Because the body, mind and the soul does not thrive in isolation. It interacts with the environment around it. And how do we interact with the environment around us? It is through these sense organs. And that, I think, is the missing link in our own lifestyle when we talk about non-communicable diseases. How we interact with the environment, what we hear, what we see, what we eat, what we smell, what we touch. And by touch, I don't mean just a tactile touch, but what influences us as far as our thoughts go, our actions go, our lifestyle goes. Everything compositely contributes towards your lifestyle. And I hope and pray that this NCD National Resources Center will definitely look at NCDs in the most comprehensive way possible and provide innovative solutions to people across the board. And when I talk about innovative solutions, I'm again drawn back to my medical school days, wherein our low-cost effective care unit, the LCUSU, had actually come up with a makeshift refrigerator for those in the villages to actually store insulin when they are being treated for diabetes mellitus. It's nothing but our own homemade clay pots, a double clay pot system, which actually serves as a makeshift refrigerator for storage of insulin. I remember standing in that stall and actually demonstrating it to some of the, some of our own people who had come from the villages all the way to the hospital to view the exhibition. So small little innovations like that, probably all the solutions are right here in front of us itself. And it's important that we give emphasis to the right solutions and we are able to cater it to the people across the board. I sincerely wish that all the ventures of this NCD National Resource Center become successful and, more importantly, meaningful. I stand here in gratitude for this wonderful opportunity to witness this inaugural ceremony and to share my thoughts with each one of you. And as I talk about gratitude, I'm urged to quote the famous Vietnamese monk, Thich Nhat Hanh, who famously said that keeping yourself healthy is an expression of gratitude towards the trees, clouds, and everything. How beautiful are those words? So let's all be able to live a life in gratitude towards everything that we receive abundantly from nature and from the world around us. Thank you so much.
I now invite His Grace Joseph Mar Gregorius, Metropolitan of the Jacobite Syrian Orthodox Church, for the felicitation.
Honorable Governor of Kerala, our own MLA, Matthew T. Thomas, and our dear collector, Athanasius Johann I Metropolitan of the Supreme Head of the Believers Eastern Church, and dignitaries on and off the dais, and my dear brothers and sisters, a very good afternoon to one and all. It's a great pleasure and honor for me to be part of this launching ceremony of the National Resource Center for Non-Communicable Diseases being inaugurated today at this prestigious Believers Church Medical College Hospital. I take this opportunity to congratulate the Believers Church Medical College Hospital management for this most noble initiative jointly with the Alcohol and Drug Information Center India, which no doubt is an appreciable model for the country. As we all know, non-communicable diseases, which we often mention as lifestyle diseases, has become a big threat to the health and well-being of our state and nation. Our own state, Kerala, is often described as India's capital for vascular diseases, diabetes, cancer, and other lifestyle diseases. The reason for this is evident. As per the National Family Health Surveys, Kerala is rated high among the major risk factors for non-communicable diseases like alcohol and tobacco use, unhealthy diet, and physical inactivity. We need to have strong political and social will and teamwork to reverse this trend through concerted and coordinated efforts of all the relevant stakeholders. I believe that this National Resource Center on NCDs will play a major role towards minimizing the burden of non-communicable diseases in Kerala and the rest of the nation. I'm aware of the great initiatives taken by the Believers Eastern Church in other parts of this country to help the needy and the downtrodden. My prayers is that we will be able to do more for the people in need, particularly in the areas of health. I wish all success to the National Resource Center and its dedicated team, and I would love to express my great thanks to my dear Honorable more and more Athanasius Johann, first the head of the Believers Orthodox Church, Eastern Church, doing tremendous work in and around the globe for the betterment of the poor and downtrodden. Thank you very much.
Now, it's time to hear from Advocate Matthew Thomas, MLA, former Minister for Transport and Irrigation. Sir, I welcome you on stage.
സമാദരണീയനായ കേരള ഗവർണർ ശ്രീ ആരിഫ് മുഹമ്മദ് ഖാൻ, അഭിനന്ദ തിരുമേനിമാർ, മോറന്മാർ അഥനേഷ്യസ് യോഹനൻ മെത്രാപ്പൊലീത്ത തിരുമേനി, അഭിനന്ദ ജോസഫ് മാർ ഗ്രിഗോറിയസ് മെത്രാപ്പൊലീത്ത തിരുമേനി, ബഹുമാന്യായ കളക്ടർ ഡോക്ടർ ദിവ്യ എസ് അയ്യർ, സിജോ പന്തപ്പള്ളച്ചൻ, ബഹുമാന്യായ ജോൺസൺ ജയടേറമുള്ള, വേദിയിലും സദസ്സിലുമുള്ള ബഹുമാന്യരെ എല്ലാവർക്കും നമസ്കാരം. ആദരണീയനായ ഗവർണറുടെ പ്രത്യേക അനുമതി വാങ്ങിയാണ് മലയാളത്തിൽ ഞാൻ സംസാരിക്കുന്നത്. അത്യാവശ്യം ഇംഗ്ലീഷിൽ വേണമെങ്കിൽ സംസാരിക്കാൻ ഒരു പരിശ്രമം നടത്താമെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിലും മലയാളം തിരഞ്ഞെടുത്തത് ഒരു വ്യത്യസ്തത ആയിക്കോട്ടെ എന്ന ഒരു കാര്യം കണക്കിലെടുത്തുകൊണ്ടാണ്. ഇവിടെ ഒരു പുതിയ സംരംഭം നാഷണൽ റിസോഴ്സ് സെൻറ്റർ ഫോർ നോൺ കമ്മ്യൂണിക്കബിൾ ഡിസീസസ് ആരംഭിക്കുന്നതിന് ആലോചന തുടങ്ങി നേതൃത്വം നൽകിയ എല്ലാവരെയും സ്ഥലത്തെ ജനപ്രതിനിധി എന്ന നിലയിൽ ഞാൻ ഹൃദയപൂർവ്വം അഭിനന്ദിക്കുന്നു. ഇത് നാടിന് ഒരു മുതൽക്കൂട്ടാകട്ടെ എന്ന് ആഗ്രഹിക്കുന്നു. അതിനുവേണ്ടിയുള്ള ആശംസകൾ നേരുകയും ചെയ്യുന്നു. കേരളം ശ്രദ്ധിക്കപ്പെട്ട മേഖലകളിൽ ഏറ്റവും പ്രധാനം ആരോഗ്യ മേഖലയാണ്. ദേശീയ തലത്തിലുള്ള കണക്കുകൾ അപഗ്രഥിച്ചു നോക്കുമ്പോൾ നീതി ആയോഗ് കണ്ടെത്തിയ നിരവധിയായ നേട്ടങ്ങളിൽ പ്രധാനമായും ചൂണ്ടിക്കാണിക്കുന്നത് പൊതുജനാരോഗ്യ മേഖലയിൽ ഈ സംസ്ഥാനം കൈവരിച്ച നേട്ടങ്ങളാണ്. ഇൻഫന്റ് മോർട്ടാലിറ്റി, ശിശു മരണ നിരക്ക് കുറച്ചുകൊണ്ടുവരാൻ, ആയുർദൈർഘ്യം ലൈഫ് സ്പാൻ വർദ്ധിപ്പിച്ചുകൊണ്ടുവരാൻ ഒക്കെ കഴിഞ്ഞ ഒരു സംസ്ഥാനമാണ് കേരളം. ഇന്ത്യയിൽ അക്കാര്യത്തിൽ ഏറ്റവും മുന്നിൽ നിൽക്കുന്ന സംസ്ഥാനമാണ്. ഇത് പൊടുന്നനെ സംഭവിച്ച ഒന്നല്ല. ആദ്യ കേരള മന്ത്രിസഭ 1957 രൂപം കൊണ്ടപ്പോൾ കേരളത്തിൻ്റെ എല്ലാ പഞ്ചായത്തുകളിലും പ്രാഥമിക ആരോഗ്യ കേന്ദ്രങ്ങൾ ആരംഭിക്കണമെന്ന് ക്രാന്തദർശിയായ അന്നത്തെ മുഖ്യമന്ത്രി EMS നമ്പൂതിരിപ്പാട് തീരുമാനമെടുത്ത് നടപടികൾ സ്വീകരിച്ചു. പിന്നീട് ഇങ്ങോട്ട് പല കാര്യങ്ങളിൽ പുതുമകളുണ്ട്. എല്ലാ പഞ്ചായത്തിലും കൃഷിഭവൻ ആരംഭിച്ച് 87 അതൊക്കെ നിൽക്കട്ടെ. 57 പ്രാഥമിക ആരോഗ്യ കേന്ദ്രങ്ങൾ ആരംഭിച്ചു. പ്രൈമറി ഹെൽത്ത് സെന്റേഴ്സ് were started as early as in 1957 by the first Kerala government. അന്ന് ആ നടപടി ആരംഭിച്ചത് ദേശീയ തലത്തിലുള്ള ആരോഗ്യ രംഗത്തെ പ്രശ്നങ്ങൾ തിരിച്ചറിയാൻ തക്കവണ്ണമുള്ള ഒരു ഭരണ നേതൃത്വം കേരളത്തിലുണ്ടായിരുന്നതുകൊണ്ടാണ്. പോഷകാഹാരക്കുറവുകൊണ്ട് കുട്ടികൾ മരിക്കാൻ പാടില്ല. പൊതുജനങ്ങളുടെ ആരോഗ്യം അന്ന് പടർന്ന് പന്തലിച്ചിരുന്ന പല രൂപത്തിലുള്ള പകർച്ചവ്യാധികളിൽ നിന്ന് രക്ഷ നേടുവാൻ ആവശ്യമായ വാക്സിനേഷനുകൾ നൽകിക്കൊണ്ടു തന്നെ ആരോഗ്യരംഗത്ത് വേണ്ട നേട്ടം കൈവരിക്കുവാൻ അക്കാലഘട്ടത്തിൽ ആരംഭിച്ച പ്രവർത്തികൾ. പക്ഷെ ഒന്നുണ്ട്, ഓരോ സമയത്തും ആരോഗ്യ രംഗത്തെ വരുന്ന ആവശ്യങ്ങൾ മാറിക്കൊണ്ടിരിക്കുമ്പോൾ ആ മാറി വരുന്ന ആവശ്യങ്ങൾ തിരിച്ചറിഞ്ഞ് അവയോട് പ്രതികരിക്കുവാൻ നമുക്കാവണം. ഇന്ന് കേരളത്തിലെ ഏറ്റവും പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട പ്രശ്നം എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഇവിടെ സൂചിപ്പിച്ചു നിരവധിയായ പ്രസംഗങ്ങളിൽ നമ്മുടെ ജീവിതശൈലി രോഗങ്ങൾ, ലൈഫ് സ്റ്റൈൽ ഡിസീസസ്. അതൊരു പക്ഷേ ആരോഗ്യരംഗത്ത് ഏറ്റവും മുന്നിൽ നിൽക്കുന്ന സംസ്ഥാനത്തായിരിക്കാം. ഈ രാജ്യത്തെ ഏറ്റവും മെച്ചപ്പെട്ട ആരോഗ്യ നിലവാരം കൈവരിച്ച് ഈ സംസ്ഥാനത്തായിരിക്കാം ലൈഫ് സ്റ്റൈൽ ഡിസീസസ് വളരെ ഉയർന്നു നിൽക്കുന്നത്. ഞാൻ ഇന്ന് രാവിലെ പങ്കെടുത്ത ഒരു യോഗത്തിൽ ഞെട്ടിക്കുന്നൊരു കണക്ക്, ഞാൻ ഇപ്പോഴും ആ കണക്ക് വിശ്വസിച്ചിട്ടില്ല. ഒരു മാധ്യമങ്ങളെ കോട്ട് ചെയ്ത് ഒരു പ്രമുഖ വ്യക്തി നൽകിയത്, ഇന്ത്യയിലെ വൃക്ക രോഗങ്ങളിൽ 34% കേരളത്തിലാണ്. ഞെട്ടിക്കുന്നൊരു കണക്കാണ്. അതുകൊണ്ട് ജീവിതശൈലിയിൽ കേരളീയർക്ക് വന്ന മാറ്റം 1950കളിൽ കഠിനാധ്വാനത്തിലൂടെ, കായിക അധ്വാനത്തിലൂടെ കാർഷിക മേഖലയിൽ ഇടപെട്ട് കാർഷിക ഉൽപാദനം അടക്കമുള്ള പ്രവർത്തികളിൽ ഏർപ്പെട്ടിരുന്ന ജനത ഓഫീസ് ജോലികളിലും പിന്നെ വിദേശത്ത് നിന്നെത്തുന്ന പണത്തിൻ്റെ പലിശയിലും മാത്രം ആശ്രയിച്ച് വിഭവങ്ങൾ കണ്ടെത്തി ജീവിക്കുന്നൊരവസ്ഥാവിശേഷത്തിൽ ജീവിത ശൈലികളിൽ വന്ന മാറ്റം നമ്മുടെ ആരോഗ്യ മേഖലയിൽ ഉണ്ടാക്കിയ ഒരു പ്രത്യാഘാതമാണ്, ഒരു ഇമ്പാക്റ്റാണ് ലൈഫ് സ്റ്റൈൽ ഡിസീസസ് എന്ന് ഇവിടെ ചൂണ്ടിക്കാണിക്കപ്പെട്ടു. അത് വളരെ പ്രസക്തമാണ്. ഇവിടെ മാറി വരുന്ന കാലഘട്ടത്തിലെ മാറി വരുന്ന ആവശ്യങ്ങളോട് പ്രതികരിക്കുവാൻ നമ്മുടെ സമൂഹത്തിലെ നിരവധിയായ സംരംഭങ്ങൾ ഉണ്ടാകുന്നു എന്നത് ശുഭോദർക്കമായ ഒരു സംഗതിയാണ്. ആരോഗ്യമേഖലയിൽ വലിയ നേട്ടങ്ങൾ കൈവരിക്കുന്നത് നേതൃത്വം നൽകിയത് ഇവിടുത്തെ സ്വകാര്യ സ്ഥാപനങ്ങൾ കൂടിയാണ്, സർക്കാർ സ്ഥാപനങ്ങൾ മാത്രമല്ല. അവിടെ ഇന്ന് നോൺ കമ്മ്യൂണിക്കബിൾ ഡിസീസസ് അതിൻ്റെ ഒരു റിസോഴ്സ് സെൻ്ററായി ഇവിടെ പ്രവർത്തനം ആരംഭിക്കുന്ന ഈ സംരംഭത്തിന് എല്ലാ ആശംസകളും ഞാൻ നേരുകയാണ്. പ്രിയപ്പെട്ട കേരള ഗവർണർ ഈ തിരുവല്ലയിൽ ഒരു ഔപചാരികമായ ചടങ്ങിൽ പങ്കെടുക്കുന്നത് ആദ്യമായിട്ടാണ് തോന്നുന്നത്. I think the Honorable Governor is attending a function officially for the first time in my constituency. Though we have come and attended the funeral service of Mark Chrysostom Tirumeni, where also I met you. I'll be only happy to invite you because I've known him for the last many years, because I was telling that I belong to the same organization politically at one point of time, not now. So, though the Sijo Achan was introducing him as having got elected at the age of 26, I was telling him that I got elected to the assembly at the age of 25. And in that matter, I am also happy to meet the youngest MLA from other state of all times. So I am wholeheartedly welcoming the Honorable Governor to my constituency. I am grateful for having consented to attend this function. All wishes I convey to you on behalf of the people of Tiruvalla. ഈ വാക്കുകളോട് എൻ്റെ ആശംസ പ്രസംഗം അവസാനിക്കും.
May I request His Holiness More and More Athanasius Johann I, Metropolitan and Patron of the Believers Church Medical College, for the presidential address and special blessings for the National Resource Center.
I will make the attempt to finish my talk in 3 minutes. Thank you, Honorable Governor. Honorable Governor of Kerala, Sri Arif Mohammed Khan, and other dignitaries on the stage. This is an extremely happy and proud moment for all of us. It is. Honorable Governor, as I mentioned earlier, every time I see you on various media outlets, I am amazed at the positive energy you radiate to others. I am grateful for your presence, Honorable Governor. The most respected Joseph Moore Gregorios Tirumeni, the Metropolitan Trustee of the Malankara Jacobite Syrian Orthodox Church, Tirumeni, thank you for your presence. Then our own, when I say our own, we really mean it, MLA Sri Matthew T. Thomas. And of course, our collector of the District of Pathanamthitta, Dr. Divya S. Iyer. I was so much looking forward for a chance to see you. You are amazing. Thank you for being here. To all of you, we are deeply grateful for the support shown by your valuable presence. I think it is a reasonable thing to say, I am not a medical doctor, and nor am I an authority to talk on non-communicable diseases. But having lived in different parts of our beautiful country and traveled to multiple nations, I must say that taking care of one's health is not a priority for our people. Many don't worry about their health until it is too late, and it's sad. There is a desperate need to communicate the importance of health, especially to those in the rural parts of our nation. And we as Believers Eastern Church have taken major initiatives in this regard, especially in the past decade. Today, with the active participation of our 57 dioceses of our church within India and those in Asian countries and now in Africa, we have been able to train and equip hundreds of groups of women to go into the villages and teach the importance of preventive healthcare practices like hand washing, importance of breastfeeding, etc. As part of Swachh Bharat, the church has constructed more than 25,000 sanitation facilities throughout our country. And I'm happy that the Believers Eastern Church Medical College Hospital is also part of this nation-building endeavor. This institution was not established as a business entity. We have a policy of not denying primary medical care to any individual because of lack of financial resources. Our ethos is one of compassionate care. We do what we do because of the love of Christ, who told us to love all people as he loved. Honorable Governor, we have a dream. That is, using telemedicine, this institution will become a mother hospital to hundreds of smaller clinics and hospitals in the villages of India. We are also hoping to widen our medical services by establishing few more state-of-the-art hospitals in north and northeastern parts of our beloved nation. I wish the hospital family and ADIC India and all the blessings as they develop this resource center. The presence of the greetings and the greetings of officials from WHO, World Federation, NCD, concerns departments, both from Government of India and Government of Kerala, is highly appreciated. We remain grateful. May God's peace and blessings be upon this endeavor and each one of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Now, it's time for the auspicious event of lighting the lamp, inaugurating the National Resource Center for Non-Communicable Diseases. We will take a few minutes to honor the stalwarts for their outstanding contribution to the prevention and control of non-communicable diseases. First, let me invite Professor Dr. J.S. Thakur, President of the World Federation of Non-Communicable Diseases and former cluster head of WHO, to receive the award from our Honorable Governor. Now, may I invite Professor Dr. Atul Ambedkar, representing WHO Collaborating Center for Substance Abuse, AIMS Delhi, to receive the award. Now, I invite Dr. Bipin K. Gopal, the State Non-Communicable Disease Nodal Officer, Government of Kerala, to receive the award. Finally, I invite Dr. A.S. Pradeep Kumar, former Additional Director of Health Services, in charge of Public Health, to receive the award from the Honorable Governor. Thank you, dear sir. Now, let's listen to our Honorable Governor, Shri Arif Mohammed Khan, for the much-awaited inaugural address.
Tirumeni more and more Athanasius Johann, one metropolitan, the Metropolitan of Believers, Eastern Church. Advocate Matthew T. Thomas, Honorable Member of Assembly and former Minister, Transport. Tirumeni His Grace Joseph Moore, Gregorius Metropolitan Trustee, the Malankara Jacobite Syrian Orthodox Church. Dr. Divya S. Iyer, IAS, District Collector, Pathanamthitta. Dr. George Chandy Matitra, Director, National Resource Center. Reverend Father Sijo Pendapalli, Manager, Believers Church Medical College Hospital. Shri Johnson J. Ediaran Mule, Executive Director. Dr. Johnson George, Medical Superintendent. Priyapeta Sahodri Sahodran Mare, Elavarkumente Vandanam. You are clapping, and I honestly feel ashamed that I am not able to communicate to you in Malayalam, even after 2.5 years. Thank you very much. It is such a pleasure, apart from this inauguration, to inaugurate this, to visit this campus. We are really fortunate. What an environment, ideally suited for the seekers of knowledge and wisdom. You can devote all your energies in this beautiful environment to the goal which you have set before yourselves. It's real pleasure to inaugurate National Resource Center on Non-Communicable Diseases, instituted at Believers Church Medical College Hospital, Tiruvalla, with the cooperation of Alcohol and Drug Information Center. So, first I would like to compliment the management of the Believers Church Medical College Hospital for establishing this important resource center, which I am informed is first of its kind in India. I am so happy to know that apart from being accredited by the National Accreditation Board for Hospitals and Healthcare Providers, NABH, and National Accreditation Board for Testing and Calibration Laboratories, this institution has won the Nursing Excellence Recognition and the Rose of Paracelsus Award for commendable performance. Healthcare is one of the sectors in Kerala which has received tremendous support from church-based institutions. Many of our Christian congregations continue to strengthen Kerala's progress in healthcare through well-managed state-of-the-art hospitals. It's a relief that some of these hospitals consider the provision of medical services free of cost or at reduced rates, guided by their belief that those who are gracious to the poor lend to the Lord, and Lord will fully repay them. The Believers Church Medical College Hospital has enriched this tradition through many gestures by initiating this resource center, which addresses a major concern, namely the high prevalence of non-communicable diseases in the state. You may recall the recent reports about non-communicable diseases killing, and it was prominently displayed when I went to the center that these diseases kill 41 million people worldwide each year. In India, such diseases contribute to 60% of all deaths, with coronary heart disease, stroke, hypertension, chronic respiratory diseases, cancers and diabetes being the major killers. The gravity of situation can be seen from the observation that a 30-year-old individual has a 1/4 chance of dying from one of the 4 major non-communicable diseases before the age of 70 years. Sadly, Kerala, which has been called the diabetic capital of India, is now the hub of many of these other non-communicable diseases. The situation demands our urgent attention and implementation of preventive, promotive, and curative measures in a cost-effective, sustainable, and balanced manner. The collector of Patnamthitta, Divyaji, shared with you our ancient concept of health. In fact, this tradition goes further, and it says, Riddham hi rajyam padmendrama. which means that a healthy and prosperous nation or state is like paradise on earth. One previous speaker mentioned that we tend to ignore our health. That is not the right attitude. In fact, it is only when you maintain proper and good health that you can serve yourself and the society in which you live. The World Health Organization, which seeks to attain its vision of a world free of avoidable burden on non-communicable diseases, has identified alcohol and tobacco, unhealthy diet and lack of physical activity as major risk factors leading to non-communicable diseases. It is to help realize this ambitious goal that Believers Church Medical College has set up this National Resource Center for scientific assessment of the situation arising out of these non-communicable diseases. I am happy that the Resource Center would also address the issue of substance abuse, initiate preventive interventions, and conduct training, research, and evaluation. The World Health Organization and the health ministries of the Union and the state governments have also offered technical support to this initiative, which would release data and information helpful in the measure to contain the diseases. I am informed that Alcohol and Drug Information Center, which is supporting this venture, has played a role in policy formulation at various levels in areas like alcohol and substance abuse, road safety, and adolescent and youth issues. The assistance of such an agency could certainly be beneficial in making policy-level interventions related to behaviors that contribute to non-communicable diseases. The recent COVID-19 pandemic had convinced the world about the need to ensure sustainable, inclusive, and resilient health systems in meeting the challenges. The need for improving this realization dawned on us in a large measure during the COVID pandemic, and this was world over, that disease anywhere. Today we are living in a global village, totally connected with each other. Physical distances have become meaningless. And now we know for a fact that disease anywhere is a threat to health everywhere, like poverty anywhere is a threat to prosperity everywhere. Quality infrastructure, efficient supply chains, workforces, and above all, reliable information are essential to respond to situations like pandemics. The health data must be accurate, relevant, and timely to assist public health action. We can be proud that India has seen significant progress in health infrastructure over the past few decades, with the schemes like the National Health Mission, Mission Indradhanush, Integrated Child Development Services, and Ayushman Bharat, making access to health care easier and more systemic. The technological advancements in medical devices have also catalyzed an improved treatment and care environment in the country. As we all know, Kerala's health system has accomplished a great deal from less resources by achieving lower infant mortality rate, lower maternal mortality ratio, higher life expectancy. However, the increase in the number of morbid populations is a matter of great concern. Kerala's health policy addresses these issues in detail. The involvement of the government alone may not be enough to find a solution, which has magnified in recent years. In our state, where the private sector's contribution to healthcare is formidable, we need their active role in the initiatives aimed at ensuring universal health care. It has been to Kerala's advantage that the private sector had cooperated fully with the government programs during the months of the pandemic, becoming active partners in patient care, vaccination drive, and other associated activities. The cooperation of Believers Church Medical College in many such endeavors was commendable, especially in providing free open heart surgeries to children under the government's Hridayam project, the Kerala Cancer Control Project, and the Inspire and secondary hospital programs for medical students in tribal areas outside the state. Service has to be, the sense of service has to have priority in a sector like healthcare, which directly affect the lives and well-being of people. Somebody has said this, suddenly came to my mind, that when we avail the services of a doctor, we pay for his labor, but we can never pay for her or his kindness. The care which they provide, it's only for your physical labor. So for you, it is not only a question of career. You have chosen to invest your energies, your heart and soul, to adopt a profession which requires high degree of sacrifice, sense of service, compassion. And whenever I mention this word compassion, no one in this world can live without love. The lowest expression of love is through patience, and the highest form of expression is through compassion. And Dr. Radhakrishnan in one of his speeches says that compassion comes to a woman naturally Men, if they want to live a civilized existence, then they must make conscious efforts to cultivate this quality of compassion. And we have seen, particularly during the period, other days stories are not normally reported, not that otherwise it does not happen. But during the COVID period, we have seen, we have experienced the great sense of compassion, sense of service with which our doctors were taking care of the patients. I think it will be appropriate if I quote Swami Vivekananda, who said that India has only two national ideals. And that is, first he says, although first he says renunciation, second he says service, and he said, intensify her in these two channels, the rest will take care of itself. So, education, acquisition of knowledge, acquisition of skills, along with a sense of values, that is what is absolutely essential for citizens of any civilized society. Here it is also worthwhile to keep in mind what Bible says, for even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life a ransom for many. My best wishes to the management, teachers, medical and non-medical staff, and students of Believers Church Medical College to always succeed through service to mankind. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu, valre nanni, Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for your enlightening words. Now, I call upon Sri Johnson J. Edaramulla, Executive Director of National Resource Center, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Chief guest of the day, Honorable Governor of Kerala, Sri Arif Mohammed Khan, beloved Metropolitans, distinguished guests on and off the dais, dear brothers, sisters, and dear friends. First of all, I would like to thank the Almighty God who has given me a second chance in life and guide me in the realization of this big dream project, together with the Believers Church Medical College Hospital, while undergoing through the trauma of chemotherapy for my stage 3 cancer. It is a great pleasure for me to extend our sincere gratitude on behalf of the National Resource Center, the Believers Church Medical College Hospital, and Alcohol and Drug Information Center, ADIC India, to all the distinguished guests and all behind this noble initiative. Our sincere thanks to our Honorable Governor of Kerala, Sri Arif Mohammed Khan, for officially inaugurating this National Resource Center, which with his most encouraging and inspiring words, and for sharing his valuable time with us, and also for visiting the various facilities of our center. We are grateful to our respectful patron, His Holiness Moran Mar Athanasius Johann I Metropolitan, and His Grace Dr. Joseph Mar Girgos Metropolitan, for their enlightening words and messages. Our thanks to our respectful member of Kerala Legislative Assembly, Advocate Matthew T. Thomas, and District Collector Dr. Divya S. Iyer, IAS, for the felicitation address. Our special thanks to my good friends, Professor Dr. J.S. Thakur, President of the World Federation of NCDs, Dr. Adul Ambekar, representing the WHO Collaborating Center for Substance Abuse, AIMS, New Delhi. Dr. Bibin K. Gopal, State Nodal Officer of NCDs. And Dr. A.S. Pradeep Kumar, former Additional Director of Health Services, Government of Kerala, for being with us on this auspicious occasion and accepting our appreciation awards for the outstanding contribution for the prevention and control of non-communicable diseases. We have no words to express our gratitude to the World Health Organization for all the encouragement and support. We are grateful to Dr. Rodrigo H. Offrin, WHO representative to India, for his enlightening video message, and to Dr. Pradeep Joshi, National Professional Officer NCD, for all the support. Our special thanks to Mr. Derek Rutherford, Founder Chairman of the Global Alcohol Policy Alliance, for his support and guidance to our NRC. The contribution, support and hard work of the BCMCH management team is praiseworthy. Our ever-inspiring manager and Kerala Health University Senate member, Reverend Father Sijo Pandapalil, our role model, Director and CEO of the Believers Medical College, Professor Dr. George Chandy Metitra, have played a big role in successfully organizing this event. Though they are part of our team, still I want to extend a big thanks. Our sincere thanks to all our media friends and all our distinguished guests who have accepted our invitation and being with us on this important event. Last but not the least, I'll be failing in my duty if not mentioning the hardworking team led by our medical superintendent, Dr. George C. George, Principal Dr. Girija Mohan, Associate Directors Dr. John Valiath and Dr. Shamal Chitranjan, Dr. Sangeeta, Mr. Ajit, Mr. Rajesh, the administration, engineering, IT and graphic team, medical nursing and other faculties, heads and volunteers of the NRC cluster focal points, and all those who have played different roles in shaping the National Resource Center and for making this event a great success. Once again, thank you all. Jai Hind.
Now, let's all rise up for the national anthem.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंग विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उज्ज्वल जलधि तरंग तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
The district collector of our district, Dr. Divya Sayer, is presenting her latest book to the Honorable Governor of Kerala. The name of the book is Kayyuppitta Vazhigal.